Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
Yippee-ki-yay.
It is time for another Die Hard on a Blank. So I had an ambitious plan. We hadn't done any episodes for this month. We recorded one right before Christmas. It didn't come out until New Year's because I'm a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. That's accurate.
Yeah, and then I'm like Bono. I am a walking, talking piece of.
Oh, I was going to go with another South Park.
Okay. I
was going to say you're like Mr. Hanky.
Oh, I like the Bono one better because then I can do the prayer hands.
Then you can be Bondo.
Yeah. I can be Bondo and be a crappy color that people put on their cars to hold them together.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was thinking Bondo is like the knockoff Bono. Like he's Scottish and he kind of cares for like the world, even though Bono kind of doesn't. Fuck Bono.
I mean, at the same time, Bono does a lot of good work and good for him. And think I'm sure all the full African children who have been eating off of all his good deeds.
Bono's not feeding those people.
I'm sure he is.
No,
he does prayer hands and wears sunglasses and feeds the African children.
There was a thing years ago where it was like Bono was like, "No, we're raising awareness for the problem.
Oh,
we're not solving the problem."
Did you see? He actually had a cameo in Entourage.
Did he?
Yeah, with Matt Damon and LeBron James. Yes. Matt Damon
and LeBron James.
Yeah. So the three of them were. It's in season 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. But Vince now has a bunch of money, and Matt Damon bumps into him in an airport, and it's like, hey, I run a charity about blah blah blah. It's for kids in America that need food. Would you donate money? And Vince is like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know. And so he sends him a check. That's all he says. Is, oh yeah, we'll send you a check.
Yeah.
Send him a check for like $10,000. And he's like, he calls him back and he goes, hey Vince, I got your check. Or, I guess this is your check. He's like, what? Is there something wrong with the check? And he goes, yeah, it's too small. What the hell, man? And he's like, what? And he goes, I heard you're making $20 million this year. He's like, what? Maybe, I don't know. And he goes, Ari said $20 million. What the fuck, Vince? And he's like, and then LeBron's there and he's like, yeah, Vince, what the fuck? and then while they're talking, Bono, you hear Bono go, what the fuck, Vince? He's like, that's Bono, Vince. And Matt Damon wheels around the laptop and there's Bono and he's like, he can't ever have his head be facing straight. It always has to be turned slightly to the side. And he's like, don't be a cheapskate, Vince. Come on, Vince. And they're like, give money, Vince. Come on, don't be a bitch. And he's like, how much should I give? And he goes, come on, Vince. Don't be a cheapskate. And they won't say how much.
Yeah.
And like, well, LeBron, how much you give? And he goes, I gave $1 million. And he's like, and he's like, come on, it's for the kids. And they're just like up his ass about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's pretty funny. It's good. In terms of that show, it's one of the better. There's a handful of moments on that show that are actually fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And they will never be discovered because of
the rest of the show.
The rest of the show and how, Family Guy has perfectly mocked that show. Mm-hmm. To the point that I think it is really. Here's the thing: they made 8 seasons of it.
Yeah,
somebody was watching it,
and a film,
and a movie, and it won several Emmys for Jeremy Piven.
Yeah.
So somebody was watching the show. It was getting award consideration, and yet apparently now in retrospect we're just like, man, fuck that show.
There's a tie-in novel.
There's a tie-in novel
written by Ari Gold.
That's amazing.
That I saw at Barnes & Noble the other day.
Oh my gosh.
It's got Jeremy Piven's face on the cover because when I'm looking to buy a book, I think I want to buy a book where people know, oh, he likes Jeremy Piven.
Gosh. Here's the thing. I actually kind of do like Jeremy Piven.
Anyone want to watch The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard?
I have seen that. I saw that in the theater.
God.
I saw that in the theater. PCU, one of my favorite college movies of all time.
PC is good.
Yeah. David Spade, Jon Favreau, and Jeremy Piven.
Little Johnny Boy.
It's fucking great. Yeah, no. And then I was actually watching his show that just got canceled because of all his allegations, Wisdom of the Crowd, which in my mind was actually a really cool idea for a show. And I now wish that they had just fine, can him off the show, write him off.
Give somebody new.
Let the show keep going. Mm-hmm. The show has a huge ensemble cast.
Yeah.
It doesn't need him.
Or Spin City it.
There you go.
Bring in Michael J. Fox. Bring in Charlie Sheen.
Okay, don't bring in Charlie Sheen. Because if you were going to fire Piven for allegations, I mean, I'm sure Sheen has like a shitload of like actual criminal allegations.
Who would have thought between Charlie Sheen and Michael J. Fox, Charlie Sheen would be the more sick one?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm loving, too, I'm now seeing so many Michael J. Fox impressions lately.
Yeah.
Just so funny, just with
like
the hand up. No, and it's like, Sarge, it's like, Doc, you gotta let me know. It's like, and it's all these little things, and I fucking love it. It's great.
I love Michael.
Yeah. MJ's cool.
He's who should have played Inspector Gadget.
Oh, fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. He would have been great.
Any role Matthew Broderick gets
would have been better with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. Philadelphia?
I didn't even see Philadelphia.
Put Michael J. Fox in there.
I'm trying to think, though. Like Ferris Bueller? Shit, yeah. Michael J. Fox would have been so much better as Ferris Bueller.
Oh, yeah. And,
holy shit.
And now we're out of Matthew Broderick movies.
Yeah. Well, especially now that we've picked the best one and already chosen to replace him. Like, at this point, yeah, no.
You're right. We did already pick the best one, Inspector Gadget.
Okay.
Why did French Stewart replace him for the sequel?
Because they couldn't afford the $5 million they gave Matthew Broderick, and they needed the $5,000 they gave French Stewart.
I bet J. Fox would have done it.
Serious?
Yeah.
Go Gadget medication for Parkinson's.
Go Gadget stabilizing something. I don't know. Just get me to stop fucking shaking right now.
Serious. Yeah. Go Gadget, hand somebody $1 without smacking them in the face. So, sign your name without looking like a fucking child. Yeah. I have terrible handwriting, and I often say that I have Michael J. Fox handwriting.
Oh, nice. So. Go Gadget, guest star in Scrubs and be fucking awesome.
He was so fucking good in Scrubs.
He's so good.
Yeah. He's so good in everything.
He's great. Michael J. Fox.
I really liked the Michael J. Fox show.
Oh, the Michael J. Fox show was so good.
It was so good, and then it got fucking canceled. I'm like, really? That's on us then.
Yeah.
So that's not on him, because he made a show about it. He had Parkinson's in the show and was making jokes about it, and they were funny, and everything was cool, and we were like, I just feel uncomfortable watching it. It's like, could you just not have Parkinson's?
Yeah.
That's such a bummer.
I mean, in our defense, couldn't he just try a little harder to not?
Serious, just stop shaking so much.
Quit. Yeah.
Just,
Hey, Michael, look at me.
Not shaking.
I'm quite still.
Quite still. God, and as I just held up my hands, I thought Michael J. Fox should play Donald Trump.
You're right.
That would be fucking great. Yeah.
Mr. J. Fox.
Serious. Like, I'm the best at not shaking.
Nobody shakes less than me.
Serious. Nobody knows more about being still than me. I'm the best at being still.
Very stable.
Yeah. All right.
Should we talk about Vendetta?
We should probably talk about Vendetta. So
Can we not?
This week on the show, we watched the movie Vendetta. We are finishing up the WWE film categories.
Thank God.
And Marine 5 is staring us dead at the end of the tunnel. It's one of the last ones we get to watch.
Are you kidding me?
And I know, every time we're about to watch a movie, Noah texts me, is it Marine 5? It's Marine 5, right? It's time for Marine 5? And I'm like, no, it's not time for
I downloaded Marine 5 in like November. I've just been waiting for it.
Yeah, no, I downloaded a bunch of these back in November. No, like longer ago. I've had Vendetta for a while.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just been sitting on my computer being terrible.
Immediately, I clicked X on my player window and then dragged it into the recycle bin and then dumped the recycle bin. I wanted nothing to do with this movie.
Don't let anybody know I saw this. Don't let anybody know that I owned this movie for a moment. Yeah, so first off the bat, so this movie starts, the only thing that I knew about this movie was it features The Big Show. That's the only thing I knew.
Turns out, not a very good thing.
No, and here's the thing. I'm a fan of The Big Show. The stuff that I've seen him do where he's not wrestling has mostly been good.
Yeah.
Even that Knucklehead movie, which was a huge piece of shit, he is at least solid in.
Did we watch that?
Yeah, with Mark Furstein.
That's the one with the...
And
that was The Big Show?
That was The Big Show, yeah.
Oh, I remember really liking him in that. He had good chemistry with that kid.
Thank you! Yes, no,
oh, boy.
And here's the thing. In the opening minutes of this, I was like, he's too good for this movie. This writing is so terrible.
Excuse me, you thought he was too good for it?
He's acting his ass off, and this movie is just not.
He's bad.
This movie's not. It's kind of, to me though. This is The Rock and Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, I can already see though that he is better than material that he is doing.
See, I did not feel the same.
Okay.
I didn't think
also,
anyone in this movie.
So
was good.
right off the bat, when the credits start rolling,
Movie is
the
fucking
first
Superman.
name comes up. Dean fucking Cain.
Fucking Superman is in this movie.
Fucking Superman. It's Dean Cain. Which, here's the thing. I don't know why Dean Cain is still famous. Because...
We should have left him in the 90s.
Right? He did Superman, which, if you go back and watch, is actually terrible.
Yeah.
The stories of Lois and Kent, Lois and Kent, the stories of Superman.
It's called The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Adventures of Lois and Clark, right, yeah.
Okay, and you're about to lose a Patreon supporter named Noah's mom right now if you're going to start shit.
Well, here's the thing. I loved this show. In the 90s, my entire family would sit down and watch this show like fucking clockwork. Yeah. This and Star Trek The Next Generation were the only thing we could all agree on, sit down and watch.
You're on two very different ends of the quality spectrum.
There you go. But those were the only two things that we could all watch. And here's the thing. Star Trek still holds up. I watched it last night.
It's very good.
I found an episode I didn't recognize last night. It was the one where...
This is way more interesting than Vendetta.
Right? They are trapped in a Tychon's rift.
Okay.
And it's draining the ship. They go check out a ship that was marooned. Mm-hmm. When they get there, almost everybody on the ship is dead. Mm-hmm. Except for one Betazoid who just keeps muttering shit.
Okay. Does he mind rape Troy?
No.
Usually when
I've seen that one.
Usually when there's another telepath. And by usually, I mean 95% of the time.
Which it happened like once or twice. But yeah.
It happened a lot. It happened in one of the movies.
That's true.
Tom Hardy mind raped her.
Yeah.
With Ron Perlman's help.
She does get mind raped a lot. It's so in this one she does get telepathically communicated to. So they're stuck in this place where their ship loses power and can't go, which is what trapped the other one. And they're reading like logs and stuff, and they're seeing that the crew went insane, which sounds very much like other episodes. But the trick of it is they start going insane, and they find out it's because they can't dream. And this is before we found out what serotonin was, and before we started calling it REM sleep. So every time they talk about REM, they say REM sleep. Crusher goes, we need to enter into the dream state, or REM sleep. And the rapid eye movement, and they have to explain it all, and you're like, yeah. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, you mean your serotonin levels are low? Because that's what that means.
I like REM cycle sounds way better than REM cycle. I'm going to say it right now.
It sounds more fluid if it's REM cycle.
REM.
The whole time I was like, if you just say REM and you don't say REM cycle, if you just say you need to enter into REM, even that sounds clunky. You need to get to REM.
We need to enter into rapid eye movement.
That sounds terrible. Anyway, so it's all about that, and they find out that Diana's nightmares are her actually communicating with another ship that's trapped on the other side of the rift. The rift is like a dog bone, where there's a thing in between and two large spaces, and that's where their ship is on one side and the other ship is on the other side. And what she didn't realize was the nightmare that she's been getting the whole time has been them saying, this is what we need from you to get us out of this. And basically they're asking them to emit hydrogen so that they can explode the hydrogen and break them all out of the... Yeah. And it ends up being that Data has to take over because everybody on the ship...
he doesn't sleep. ...becomes
stupid. Because without serotonin levels, your cognitive functions start failing, and you start having hallucinations, which has happened to me. I was driving once and I saw a giant owl in the road. And I just kind of drove right past him. Like, all right, owl, and just kept driving.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
The idea of a hallucination scares the fuck out of me.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't want to see shit. I've seen scary movies.
I have tried, this is going to sound so back to school special, I have tried drugs twice. And I did not hallucinate either time. No, technically 3 times. I've tried drugs 3 times. When I say drugs, I mean weed. Which I know
not
weed
isn't
always. Some people do. But yeah, no. But those are the only drugs I really tried. But sleep deprivation has got me into hallucinating a couple times.
Yeah, you need to take some acid.
I don't think so. I think I just need to, like, pull an all-nighter.
Come on, Ben.
I just need to chug some Red Bull and be up for a while.
Listen. We'll turn the camera on. We'll turn the mic on. We'll hit record. We'll lock all the doors in this room. You and me, we'll just fucking roll, you know?
God, that scares the shit out of me. I mean, because here's the thing. The second time that I tried drugs...
you drugger.
I way overdosed myself, which I did not know you could do. I didn't understand what it would be to get really, really high on weed. And it is not fun. It's very disorienting, and I felt like I was going to fly up into the ceiling. I was holding onto my couch, like, for dear life, and my wife, who videotaped this, like, she came over and she goes,
any good wife should.
She goes, "Hey, Ben, how you doing?" I was like, "Not so good." She goes, "'Cause you tried edibles and you didn't tell me, right?" I was like, "Yeah." And I had so it was a piece of chocolate and there was 4 doses. I had all 4 doses.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I thought with my size it wouldn't. Yeah.
So can we get this video?
Possibly, yeah.
Patreon?
I think, yeah, we could probably put it up on Patreon.
Hear that, patrons?
I actually had a thought about that, which I'll talk to you about later, where we might actually be able to start doing this podcast and not have to pay any money. Because we could start putting our podcasts on Patreon instead of on Podbean. And our listeners wouldn't know it because we could move all the RSS feeds over and everything would be where it is.
That makes sense.
What? Anywho.
Should we talk about Vendetta?
We should talk about Vendetta. So this movie starts off, we know that Dean Cain is in it now. We know the Big Show's in it, and we start off in a, like, kind of a chase scene. It's almost the end of another movie.
A better movie.
Yeah, a better movie. Where we are finishing off the long story chase of Dean Cain Dean Cain and his partner have chased down the Big Show and his brother at some kind of chemical factory. Which, I've never seen a chemical factory in my fucking life. But somehow in these movies, they always end up at a goddamn chemical factory. So they end up in the chemical factory, and they're being chased around.
The Big Show has a great line here. Already at the beginning, where he says something like, "You finally done it. You finally caught the infamous Victor Abbott." And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Are you a bank robber from, like, 1900?
Yeah. My first note that I noticed because I had the same scene was like, what the fuck? Noticed that, one, the Big Show is too big to hold a gun.
Yeah.
His hands are far too large. The gun looks tiny in his hand. It looks like a toy.
Yeah.
It looks like it's not a gun anymore. It's a tiny little plastic thing.
Oh man. What if there was the job to make bigger guns, bigger to scale guns, just so the Big Show could hold them in movies?
That would be wonderful. Well, they did it for Hellboy. He had a giant ass fucking gun because he had to hold it in his giant ass fucking hand.
Yeah, but Hellboy's like a real movie.
Wow. Well, Big Show does other movies that are real, probably.
Knuckleheads.
Like Knuckleheads, yeah. Where he, was in his underwear and probably needed to hold a gun. The line is something along the lines of, like you just said, "Well, I hope you're happy now. You finally caught the infamous Victor Abbott."
Mm-hmm. It is important that he does refer to himself as the infamous Victor Abbott.
Which,
what did he do?
Well, and he says it later to his wife in their weirdly long cuddle scene to really establish that she's important before we kill her. So
before we shove her in the fridge.
Yeah. But yeah, and she's like, "So what?" And she's like, "Oh, how was your day?" And he's like, I'm home early and I caught the bad guy. What did he do?" "Oh, you name it." And they don't want to get specific with this shit, but he goes, "Drugs, racketeering, murder for hire,
murder for fun."
Murder for fun?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, first off, racketeering, is that really something you just throw in there?
It's a lot different, right?
Like, why wouldn't you bring up the drugs and the murder? If he's a drug guy who murders, I don't bring up racketeering.
Yeah,
I don't bring up tax fraud.
Well, yeah, why is there a white-collar crime in the middle?
I thought that was weird. So they're having their little cuddle moment on the couch, which seemed to just go on, and then they changed clothes.
This whole movie seemed to just go on, and it was
I was checking the time every 5 minutes.
This movie, like, first off, it's only an hour and a half. It's not a long movie. I was watching it at 1.3 speed.
I was at 1.2.
and it would not fucking end.
I couldn't. After about 30 minutes in, I was like, I can't. I gotta speed this up. This is excruciating.
I legitimately considered stopping and finishing it in the morning, and then I was like, dude, there's only 40 minutes left. But then I was like, but there's 40 minutes left.
I was really struggling to keep my eyes open towards the end, which is funny because as soon as it was over, I was wide awake.
Yeah.
And I had no problems being awake. I did dishes.
You were finally free from the spell.
Yeah. No, it was super easy after that. I watched the rest of that whole Star Trek episode I just talked about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was after I finished the movie.
Wow.
That was like 2 a.m.
I can't imagine finishing this movie than watching an episode about sleep.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally did, and it was fine. And then I watched like half an episode of Frasier. So, yeah, Frasier's my go-to go-to-sleep show. But yeah, okay, so Big Show's too big for guns. I also wrote down that he's too good for writing. Oh! Dean Cain at one point, as he's about to arrest him, says, "On your knees!" and kicks him in the back of the leg to bring him down to his knees. Big Show is as tall as Dean Cain when he's on his knees.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Like, he's like, "On your knees!" and it's like, what the fuck did that do? He's still taller than you.
He hit him pretty hard to get him on his knees. I was hoping the movie would actually be about the Big Show using that police brutality to get out of his crimes.
That would have been fun. Oh my god, speaking of this, so they did get out of their crimes. 3 months later, they all get released. Him and his brother both get released because one of their witnesses doesn't show up. And I'm like, time out. They both shot at cops. You no longer need... One of them shot a cop.
This is not how crime works.
The brother shot a cop. Once you do that, it doesn't matter if your witness falls through. I've gotten you on shooting me.
Yeah.
I'm the witness. Yeah, at that point, even...
And this isn't an older movie. This is 2015.
2015.
Those cops... Somebody's got a body cam on.
Yeah. Somebody should have known that. Well, even if they didn't. Like, I've got a bullet wound. This motherfucker shot me. You can talk to the doctor who treated my bullet wound. Mm-hmm. We've got his gun. We can run forensics to prove it. It was all nonsense. So he goes home and has cuddle time with his wife, where she mentions that they're still not pregnant. Then we flash forward 3 months into the future, and we find out Big Show's gotten out of jail. He was released on a technicality, and
that doesn't exist.
Dean Cain goes to call his wife, and his wife doesn't answer the phone. Big Show answers the phone because his wife is in the bubble bath with headphones on. Here's where one of my biggest problems with this movie started, and it persists through the whole movie: the concept of time. Because he drives home.
Yes.
I'm going to give him maximum 30 minutes to drive home.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, though, she's in the tub with headphones on, then later gets out of the tub and doesn't have headphones on. There's a chase scene around the house, and then eventually and in the meantime, Dean Cain calls his partner and tells him to go home and to go to his house. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the partner is closer.
Yeah.
I don't think he is because Dean Cain gets there first. Yeah, so then at home, we cut away for a second as Big Show reveals himself to the wife, and you're like, oh shit, the wife's like, oh no! Which she did better acting than that, but yeah.
But not by much.
Not by much. But then when we cut back, we've missed all of the beating.
Yeah.
She's completely fucked up. She's got cuts all over her face.
Yeah, she looked like he carved her up.
Yeah, and I'm like, why did you not show that? In terms of making me believe that the Big Show is a scary motherfucker, showing that would have gone a long way to getting me there.
I'm fine with them not showing that, just because this movie's already a little, like, over-the-top graphic. Like, when Dean Cain slits the dude's wrists.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was...
If you're gonna be an R-rated movie, be an R-rated movie.
It was just like, this movie was super violent, but didn't earn it.
Here's my point, though, is that if you'd shown shit like that...
Then you would have earned it.
It helps to earn it. It helps to earn it that if you show him being... And plus, I'm supposed to be scared of Big Show. Mm-hmm. I'm not.
No.
Because every time he has the chance to show off what a big fucking badass he is, he holds back. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. And that's honestly, that's a problem I have with this entire fucking movie, is that whenever the bad guys have a chance to win, and they have a million chances to win, they never do. And it confuses the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
So...
I don't yeah. We'll get to it later.
So then Big Show, this is the one savage thing that he does. So he's on the floor, he's beating her up, and she goes, "Please don't, I'm pregnant." And upon hearing that she's pregnant, he punches the fuck out of her stomach and kills the baby.
No, he bashed her head in at that point. He didn't punch her in the stomach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the point where he bashed her head in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Her head looked identical when he got there.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what because they're like...
That's why I assumed it was the stomach.
No, because Dean Cain's like, you bashed my wife's head in. Her head looked fine.
Yeah, I mean, it was scratched up when he got there, but...
No, because when he hits her, like, blood comes out.
Yeah, no, I thought he hit her stomach so hard the blood came out.
Ben.
Yeah. I thought it was really fucking... I thought that was savage as shit. This movie now loses even more points for...
What kind of fucked up movie were you thinking you were watching?
I thought I was watching a fucked up movie where a guy kills a pregnant wife and almost gets off on it. And which, by the way...
I know I got off on
There's language later that implies that he is that kind of dude. Mm. And no. And it's apparently not the case. So
no, he hit her in the head.
He hit her in the head. So he hits her in the head. The cops get there. Dean Cain wants to shoot him in the head. Oh, no, the partner gets there first, doesn't he?
Partner gets there first. No, Dean Cain gets there first.
Right. No, the partner gets there first because when Dean Cain walks in, he sees his wife, immediately pulls his gun, and his partner goes, "No, put it down," because his partner's been there already. So yeah. So then all the uniform officers show up and tell Dean Cain to put his gun down. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, he outranks you. There's already another cop, also dressed like him, who has his gun on him. Why are you just asking? Unless all of you know that this is Dean Cain's house and that's his wife.
I think they do. I mean,
maybe.
He doesn't have his gun on him like a cop. Like, he's holding it against his forehead, about to shoot this guy, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable on their part.
Okay. So then Dean Cain decides that he's going to go after him because he's got a vendetta.
He does have a vendetta.
But that's not where the title of the movie is said. That comes later. Which the title had to get into the movie somewhere because that's the title of the movie.
I'm glad I don't remember it.
Oh yeah, it's from the warden, who is the weirdest character.
Oh my god!
The warden
was weird. What the fuck was happening there?
Yeah, I wrote out "what the fuck" several times. Every time there was a warden scene, I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Dude, right?
Right? Because every time, none of it made sense. It never, whatever he did, never made sense. Like in every single scene, it was like, okay, but your character wanted this. Why did you do that?
He's also protecting Dean Cain the whole movie.
For why?
For no reason.
For no reason.
There's no reason to protect Dean Cain.
And he's like, oh, I'm going to swap out Big Show for Dean Cain as my enforcer. Why the fuck would you do that?
And you obviously know Dean Cain doesn't want to do that. He's a good guy.
And he's much smaller than the Big Show.
Right? And then after a certain point, he just goes, yeah, fuck it, kill Dean Cain.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anymore. Go kill him.
Oh my god.
He says,
that annoys
He says, Dean Cain, I'm transferring you to another prison. And then he goes to the Big Show. He's like, you fucking kill him.
Yeah. That drove me nuts.
Which the whole movie so far to this point, the Big Show's been like, can I kill him? And he's like, no, you can't kill him.
No, you can't kill him.
And he's like, why not? And he's like, don't worry about it. You can't kill him.
Yeah. It just keeps, It's such roundabout bullshit.
That the dude that was the dude from the wheelchair, right? And,
yes. That was, his name's Michael Eklund.
See No Evil 2.
Yes. That is also Wheels from See No Evil 2. Yeah. So, but he makes all these weird choices in every scene where the warden will always be like this mastermind, and he talks very clearly and very sincerely and uses every enunciation of the word to really drive the point. And he's like being playful and coy, and he's almost like he's sexually attracted to them. He gets very close to their faces every time. I think in a way that it's like I'm confusing and therefore somewhat menacing. Everybody tries to be menacing in this movie. Everybody. Dean Cain, Big Show, everybody. Nobody nails it.
I watched the Big Show beat a pregnant woman to death in this movie, and I wasn't scared of him.
You should have been. We should have been able to do that. If we'd seen him beat the shit out of her, maybe we would have been. But yeah, it's so... Yeah. Oh, and then, so now Dean Cain decides to go, and he finds Big Show's brother, who also got let out, at a drug deal, and kills everybody in the room. Just shoots him straight out. Although drags out shooting the brother, which I'm not quite... I thought he was going to question him for a second.
Yeah, I did too, right?
Because he killed him slow. He shoots him in the gut, and then he starts talking to him, waiting for the cop to get there, I guess. And then they talk to each other, and I'm like, oh, now he's going to question him. But no, he ends up just popping him in the head.
He makes some, he makes some, joke about his wife, and he shoots him again in the stomach, which I thought was cool. I was like, hell yeah. This is a cool interrogation scene. Keep shooting him in the stomach. This is
what I thought. I'm watching an interrogation scene.
He didn't interrogate him, though.
And then the third shot just goes right through his forehead.
Yeah, he did
with no further provocation from the brother. Like, it wasn't like he said another mean thing. He just was saying other shit, and Dean Cain was like, you're done. And that was later. He says, you're done. God.
Who's the guy from the Marine 3 who was the bad guy? He played Damien Dark and Arrow.
Neil McDonough.
Man, the other brother, the brother that he killed earlier,
does look like a jacked up Neil McDonough.
He looked like a jacked up. I got kind of excited early on. I was like, oh shit, Neil McDonough's in this movie? It's gonna be good. Then he wasn't, and it wasn't.
Yeah, no Neil McDonough. So Dean Cain does this because he wants to go to the same prison that Big Show is in, which he pulls some strings, which the warden tells us that he did, and gets in. And the warden is very, chummy with Dean Cain. Like, he's trying to be, buddies with him.
Yeah. Can I
go ahead.
Say something? He's committed a multiple homicide.
Yeah.
He's going to go to prison for 25 to life.
Yeah.
This is not a good plan.
No.
He just wants to kill one guy in prison.
Yeah.
So he's going to potentially get a life sentence so that he can kill this one guy in assumedly his first, couple of months there.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, honestly, it should have been the first week.
Yeah. He should have just gone in and killed him.
So he gets to prison, and within minutes is eating lunch, and runs into Big Show, that was another weird one. So they put Dean Cain in his cell with his cellmate, and they just kind of say hi, and then he lays down.
Yeah, I thought his cellmate was going to be a character in the movie,
And he sort of, he eventually becomes almost a character, but I don't know why they did that. If we're already, writing him off.
The cellmate's he's kind of nice, and he has a fun look.
Yeah.
He's charismatic. I was like, oh, he's going to, teach him the ropes of prison.
No.
I don't think he left his bed the whole movie.
That would have been, no, yeah, well, except for the two parts where we see him do something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's, the roommate does nothing, and then right off the bat, apparently Dean Cain is put to work in the laundry, which, in my mind, when I've seen prison movies, and this, again, goes to time, how fucking long do you think this movie takes? I think it's got to be at least a year or two.
No. I think this movie happened quick.
It feels like it happened really quick.
But, also, he's killing a lot of people with no repercussions.
There's a 3-month time jump, so we know it's at least 3 months total in time span.
Yeah.
But it feels like it all happens maybe in a week.
Yeah.
But he also has life-threatening injuries twice and heals up from them.
And is put into
solitary for several days.
Yeah.
And comes out of that. And is put into solitary twice. And the second time, I'm assuming, for more days than the first time.
Mm-hmm. And also that weird security guard character comes in and talks to him.
God damn it. That's so fucking
This
weird.
movie has so many characters where they were like, yeah, we're going to do something with them, and then didn't.
So the other guard, the guard that befriends Dean Cain, apparently is a former cop. Here's the thing, to go from being a cop to a prison guard, and he's not old. He's a young guy. He's younger than me, so he's like 28, 29. To go from being a cop to a jail guard, you gotta fuck up. You gotta fuck up or quit.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he definitely is one or the other. Dean Cain recognizes him right away. He's also the guy that rushes in and saves him when he's getting the shit kicked out of him in the laundry room. So while Dean Cain is in the laundry room, 3 guys show up and start beating the shit out of him and try to shank him. He kicks the crap out of all 3 of them. That's also something that should have been explained at some point, that Dean Cain is like a badass.
Yeah.
Because
he's just a cop.
In the fight with the Big Show at the beginning, he was not a badass at all. Mm-mm. But when in prison, he's a huge badass. Sort of. Mm-hmm. So 3 guys, he kicks the shit out of all 3 of them. But they do end up beating his ass pretty bad. But he fights back 2 or 3 times. Which to me, it would have been a better scene if they just would have straight up jumped him.
Yeah.
And before they shanked him, the guard had come in.
Yeah.
to me, that would have made the rest of the movie way more powerful. And that's the thing. This movie consistently makes choices to take the power from its main characters.
Yeah.
Taking away the Big Show's power, taking away Dean Cain's power, to the point where, or then when it grants them power, it takes it right back 2 scenes later. Mm-hmm. Baffling to me. So he gets the shit kicked out of him, and apparently he almost dies. Mm-hmm. And he has to go to the hospital. And when he's in the hospital, his partner comes for a visit, and they have a quick talk, and he mentions that the guard is a former cop, mm-hmm. and that he wants him to start looking into the prison to see if there's a problem with guys getting out of the prison and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which obviously there is.
Yeah.
Because the Big Show got out.
Yeah. Well, and there's clearly something going on with the warden, and which to me that should have been saved. It feels like it's a reveal. The problem is it feels like they reveal it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
In the movie, where they're like, oh, the warden and Big Show were in cahoots the whole time. Ooh. And then they come back later and they're like, further details about how they were in cahoots. And then the final thing is like, oh, they were in cahoots even before that. You didn't know. And it's like, I assumed at this point, what the fuck?
And also, the Big Show is going to get progressively more aggressive towards this chair in the warden's office. To the point where eventually...
That when he steps on it, that looked like a baby's chair.
Oh my god, he just stomps his foot through the chair.
And then I'm like, how the fuck did he ever sit in that?
That was the best scene in the movie.
Where the chair dies.
No joke.
God damn it.
I like when Big Show picks the warden up and you see how much of a bitch the warden truly is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He grabs him and the warden's like, help, help!
Yeah.
Will! Is Will the name of this guard?
Will's the name of this guard, yeah. Will! And then the old black guy runs in with a shotgun.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, time out, where the fuck did that shotgun come from? If you just have a shotgun on your desk at a prison, that's a terrible thing to have going on.
Right.
So the Big Show has a tattoo through the whole movie. NTB FW.
Not to be fucked with.
Not to be fucked with. I immediately picked up on that too. I was like, I'm like, you know what? Out of prison for a giant motherfucker, that's a pretty cool tattoo.
I don't think so. I think if you're not to be fucked with, you don't need to advertise the fact.
That's true.
I think Big Show's compensating.
Because that's a good
for the
point.
fact that he is to be fucked with.
Please, fuck with me.
Yeah. Because Dean Cain fucks with him.
Yeah.
Kills all his boys.
Dean Cain has way too much success fighting the Big Show. It's almost like they thought that the Big Show was a normal-sized person. That too. He has way too much success for his career. Considering the shit that he makes, he shouldn't be getting more roles.
Yeah.
But I feel like he still keeps getting roles based off of Superman.
Yeah, pretty much.
For no other reason. Because he's not good in anything else. It's not like, oh, he was super good in this prison movie. We should put him in another movie.
Have you guys seen this new Dean Cain movie, Vendetta? He really kills it.
Gosh.
We're going to have Dean Cain-a-sons.
So, yeah. So the Big Show sends his guys, and they beat the shit out of him in the laundry room. He then goes and gets revenge on... And I guess these were the guys in the laundry room. Although one of them wasn't. One of them was just a guy. I think the first guy that he kills... So Dean Cain takes a pen, makes a shiv out of it, which is when I first realized that he's like, oh, he's not being the cop in prison. He's just being a fucking prisoner in prison. Mm-hmm. And he has no problem being in prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So then he goes into the shower and stabs a guy with the pen.
Yeah.
And that guy then proceeds to kick his ass. And Dean Cain only wins because of blood loss.
Yeah. The guy just eventually bleeds out.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck?
In all fairness, I mean, Dean Cain, I don't know. Fuck Dean Cain.
Here's my thing. If Dean Cain had been winning throughout the whole movie like that...
He's kind of small.
So much more popular. So much more powerful if he's like...
He'd been getting his ass kicked?
Yeah, if he's the scrappy guy that gets in there and gets his ass kicked but somehow wins because of because of blood loss or some shit.
Yeah.
Because he's smarter than the other guy. That's more powerful than... Sometimes I'm a badass and sometimes I'm not. But I always have this scowl on my face that makes it so you can't see my eyes. Because I might be Asian. I'm not sure.
Oh, man. If the real twist in this movie was that Dean Cain was an Asian man. Like, he comes out and he's like, I'm actually Chinese. And they're like...
No, at the end of the movie, they come out and like, prisoner, Fukimoto. And you're like, what? It's like, and he's like, here. And they're like, isn't that Dean Cain?
Oh, yeah, it's like we never hear his fucking last name through the movie. We just know his name's Mason. So they're like...
It's like, oh, no, it's Mason Fukimoto.
Ooh!
That I'm glad he didn't do.
Oh, you killed him away. He's doing like an awful like accent the whole time. Oh, I'm a Dean Cain.
I'm always reminded every time I see Dean Cain in something. John Mulaney told this joke.
Is that Dean Cain?
Is that Dean Cain?
The Law and Order one?
Law and Order, yeah. When he's on Law and Order, he's like, yeah, and they walk up to like, and he's in like a lineup of criminals. And I wanted the lady to be like, is that Dean Cain?
Dean Cain?
Just because that is the reaction whenever you see Dean Cain in life. You're just like, oh shit, it's Dean Cain.
Like, see,
because we all realize that one, he's still working. Didn't know that. We've all assumed that he stopped working after whatever the last thing we saw him in was.
Listen, I never watched Adventures of Lois and Clark. I thought Dean Cain was dead. Or old. I thought he was a lot older than he looks.
Yeah. Which, he's a lot puffier than I remember him being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lot puffier 20 years later.
Gosh. Such a bad choice for this movie. I mean, they should have got... You know what they should have gotten was another fucking wrestler.
Yeah.
If you're going to have Big Show, put him in there with Randy Orton. Put him in there with Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, one of these guys. Fucking put him in there with Cain. How fucking cool would that be?
No.
Jacob Goodnight and Big Show fight.
No, fuck that. Get rid of Big Show. Put Dean Cain up against the Cain.
There you go.
And then you got Cain on Cain action.
Dean Cain versus Cain. Then you have Cain versus Cain.
Cain v. Cain.
Oh, that's good.
And now it's a way better movie.
Yeah. Also, you don't give Cain any lines because you make him Jacob Goodnight. Except for, no, I see. Or some shit like that. What did he say? I don't know.
Every single mirror in the movie he walks through. That's what I want. Cain walks through every mirror.
It's like, oh, look, it's another room with a full-length mirror. Let's go look at it. Ah, he walked through the mirror.
Although, now that I think about it, I don't think there's a lot of mirrors in prison.
No?
Because of the whole broken glass thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Dean Cain starts taking out his henchmen one by one, which, when he killed the black henchman, I thought that was his, like, right-hand man black henchman. I got his black henchman confused. So that, because then, like, he kills that guy, and then 2 seconds later, a black henchman goes and sits next to Big Show, and I'm like, time out, what the fuck?
Was that the guy that showed up at the end, like, during the riot, and it was like...
No, this was the guy who was his, he was in charge of sales, according to the one guy.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so there's a brief
Sales
explanation. So he talks to the guard, and the guard explains that Big Show is in charge of actually the drug trade inside prison, and that the black guy handles the sales, and the white guy is his HR department, and that he hands out pink slips for when people need to be killed on the outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this movie is actually a scathing commentary on the for-profit prison industry.
I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's absolutely that too.
The black henchman that shows up during the riot and is like, now we're finishing this, to Dean Cain.
Yeah.
Dude, what was up with that dude's skull?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
no, that's the one they hit with a sink, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. His skin was like, just like, into, like, you could see his full skull's shape.
Yeah.
And it was kind of awesome.
Yeah. No, that was the one. He walked up to him in his cell and was like, I got a message. And then he starts kicking the shit out of him, and then he shoves Dean Cain's face through the sink. The sink breaks off, then gives Dean Cain enough time to get up, grab the sink, and then beat the shit out of him.
Dean Cain's face not sliced open to hell.
No.
Yeah.
And not bashed at all. I think he has a black eye. That's the worst that ever happens to him in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Even though
he gets shot.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie.
This is true.
He gets shot in the back and is immediately totally fine.
Totally fine. Yeah. Now, everybody that gets shot in the movie is mostly okay.
Like, the last shot of the movie, at the end, with, like,
with him and Warden? Yeah.
when the warden's like getting arrested,
Yeah.
he's still got a bullet wound in his back.
Yeah.
You know, and he's standing there like,
"See you soon."
oh, that was a terrible line.
That was awful.
Don't end on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the riot is like the last third of the movie. Because that's the other thing. Like,
Here's
up
the
until
thing.
this,
Wait 1 second.
I kept checking the time, and I'm like, how am I only 38 minutes into... Like, the first time I checked it, I was 10 minutes in. I checked again at 13 minutes. I checked again at 18 minutes. And it's... Like, I just kept noticing, like... I was like, surely we must be through the first act by now. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then towards the end, I was like, okay, he's killed 5 people in prison with seemingly... Like, because Dean Cain kills, like, 5 people in prison, and nothing happens to him. Like,
Yeah,
I think he goes in the hole for, like, 4 days for one of them.
Well, he's being protected.
No. That's for when he punches a guard.
Yeah.
He punches a guard and he goes to the hole for 4 days.
I liked that part. The Big Show's coming to kill him, and Dean Cain's like, I gotta get out of here, so he hits the guard.
Hits a guard.
Yeah, that
Breaks
was
his
smart.
nose. Yeah.
That's the only smart thing that happened in both the making and the course of this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, the warden seems to just keep letting him kill people. And I'm like, isn't this adding on to your sentence? Isn't this like... I mean, you've now murdered more people inside than outside.
Why is nobody looking at this prison and being like,
hey, you guys seem to have lost like 8-9 people in a week.
there are constantly hearses driving out of this prison.
Serious?
What are you doing here?
Yeah. I thought that was...
Which again is why I think it's a
so
staging.
nonsense. Yeah.
And the warden...
I wrote that too. Killed 2 people, reported. And then I wrote timeline. And then the scene, the lunchtime scene, I wrote, they don't have to intimidate each other. One of them is already there to kill the other one. The other one already killed his wife. You don't need to, like, talk threateningly to each other.
Oh, the scene where he dips his fingers.
The scene where Big Show eats his food with his hands.
That was just rude.
And
honestly.
then he goes back to eating the food, and I'm like, oh, Big Show touched that with his fingers.
Yeah, you don't...
No, don't eat that.
I would not do that, Dean.
Yeah. And then, what the fuck, warden? Guards are worthless.
The warden felt like a character that was supposed to be smart.
Yes.
But he wasn't.
He felt like he was supposed to be a mastermind character, but his motivations were never clear.
He was what, like, people who think they're smart act like?
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't think that was a conscious choice on Michael Eklund's part.
No, I don't think it was either. I think he was just, yeah.
Because I don't think there were a lot of conscious choices in this movie.
I think he made a choice on how to play his character, but it was a weird choice. And then, yeah, there was just a lot of... Honestly, it's bad writing. It's bad... Yeah.
Like, in the first scene with the warden, he was kind of charismatic enough where I was like, okay, maybe we'll get something good out of this. Nope. No, it quickly fell off.
No. Yeah, it just went fucking nowhere. So then at the end, we finally have the riot, where...
Which the instigator for the riot is terrible.
So the instigator for the riot is Dean Cain's fighting somebody on the roof.
Yeah.
And then...
because all prisoners have access to the roof.
All prisoners have access to the roof.
Suicide's not a problem.
And then... he throws the guy off the roof.
Lands on Will.
And the guy lands on Will, the guard, who was holding his shotgun in the yard. Mm-hmm. Which already, if you're a guard in the yard holding a shotgun, they're going to jump you and take the shotgun.
Yeah.
You should have had it in the yard. I don't know what the fuck was going on there anyway. But of course, as soon as he drops it, which, holy shit, what if he just dropped it and they've now all got a gun? So yeah.
I mean, the effect where the guy from the roof lands on Will is terrible.
It's terrible. He just like disappears. He like slowly shrinks into the.
It's almost as bad as having such a non-threatening name for a security guard who's supposed to be like his main security guard who fucks people up.
Also, just casting a guy who looks more like Carl Winslow than anybody who's threatening at all. It looks like he's just a fat cop who shot a kid.
Yeah.
Like, plastic ray gun looked real enough to me.
God.
So, you missed that at the party. Ken was walking around playing a detective.
Yeah.
Named Carl. And walked around doing that the whole time.
That's awesome.
He's like, I used to be on the force, but now I'm not. I shot a kid. He had a ray gun. It looked real enough. That was his backstory.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was a fun thing. So he kills Will. Now the prisoners have a shotgun, which starts a riot. As soon as it starts rioting, Big Show and Dean Cain now kind of square off and try to have it out. But now there's guns involved. And then the warden pulls a gun out of his office.
He has a tiny little
bitch gun in his little cigar case.
He has like the joke gun in Austin Powers where she pulls out the big ass like Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
And he pulls out his tiny gun.
A tiny little Walter PPK or something like that.
Okay. The Walter PPK is James Bond's gun of choice, and it's a badass, reasonably sized firearm. Okay, he's pulling out his shitty little Beretta shit. Okay.
No, Beretta's what Mel Gibson used in Lethal Weapon.
You get a little one.
No, that was it. And plus, it had like the more streamlined, like rounded tip edge of the Walter.
But
anyway,
it was far too small.
It was a very, very small gun
to be a Walter PPK.
Yes.
And I don't want us going around here casting aspersions on
Walter PPKs.
A cool gun.
Okay.
P99 though, fuck the P99.
I'm trying to remember the P99.
That's the one Pierce Brosnan used.
Oh.
Pierce Brosnan used it, and then Daniel Craig used it until Skyfall when he got the PPK back.
Gotcha. So now they're all in the yard. They're all killing each other. This is where I kind of blinked in and out. I noticed.
Yeah, me too. Except that was the whole movie.
I noticed that Big Show died at one point. Dean Cain shoots him in the face.
He slits his throat.
That's right. Yeah, Dean Cain
then shoots him in the face.
Yeah. So Big Show's on top of him, about to shoot him, and Dean Cain slits his throat.
Yeah.
And then Dean Cain shoots him.
Again, I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like my reaction time, I'd be able to shoot him before he slit my throat.
Yep.
But I'm not the Big Show.
No.
Who obviously has problems with the brain getting to the bodies. He's very big.
He has reflex problems. Yeah.
I think his impulses don't reach the arms as fast.
It takes a long time it's a long body. It's electrical impulses have further to travel because his body's so big. Anyway, so he dies, and then Dean Cain's about to die too. The warden's about to shoot him, and then the guard, who has been watching the riot the whole time through a sniper rifle and doing nothing.
Yeah. He sniped some people.
Did he?
Yeah, the sniper was shooting people.
Okay. I kept waiting for him to do anything, but it felt like he didn't do anything. So apparently that's when I blinked. Yeah. God, it was just so bad. But then he runs in and they arrest the warden, and this is how the movie ends, with Dean Cain telling the warden, "I'll see you soon."
Okay, first off, the warden getting arrested is a good choice. You know, flip him around, make him a prisoner now, blah, blah, blah. That really completes his character arc. By this point in the movie, I was like, I just want this guy dead.
I want all these guys dead.
Yeah,
Dean Cain's never getting out of jail now. He's in jail for the rest of his life.
I was upset that, and I was upset that the warden lived. He didn't deserve to live. No.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, though, it sets up the sequel, Vendetta 2.
Where the warden gets a vendetta?
Dean Cain fighting against the warden the whole fucking movie.
So now Dean Cain... Wait. No, we switch it. We follow the warden now.
And the bad guy's Dean Cain?
And Dean Cain's the bad guy. Yeah.
During the riot, by the way, did you notice the Wilhelm scream?
No.
Yeah. One of the prisoners gets killed. Ah! And I was like... I heard it and I'm like, did that just fucking happen? You pulled a Wilhelm scream in the fucking prison riot? Yeah. Which I guess... That, to me, lets me know that the guy who made this probably went to film school at one point.
Yeah.
So he knows what the Wilhelm scream is.
Or he's seen Star Wars.
Hey, you guys, it would be cool. Let's use the Wilhelm scream in the prison riot scene.
This is a little industry joke.
Now, it's going to ruin the movie.
You say the guy that made this?
Yeah.
Excuse me, this movie was directed by the same sisters that directed See No Evil 2.
Really?
The Soska sisters, or is that their name?
Really?
And I believe it's the same people that did the music, the Newton Brothers. Who, like, whatever that, like, weird rap song when he's going to prison.
Oh my gosh.
That was fucking crazy. Like, I couldn't hear it.
All the musical choices were weird. Right from the beginning, there was, like, this cool, like weird thumping thing, and they came in with this weird EDM track, and I was like, and you ruined it. Anytime, like, it was
2015.
Yeah.
A simpler time.
Time when we were all about EDM and random rap music. Mm-hmm. Good God.
I'm pretty sure it was just one of the Newton brothers saying, guys, check out my demo. We're going to put it in the movie.
I dropped this at the club the other day. Everybody really liked it. I'm pretty sure we should open the movie with it. God, this is a terrible movie. So we both agreed this was terrible, but then...
To borrow an industry term to describe this movie, it was a real stinker.
I like that's an industry term.
Yeah, you know.
But the worst part about this movie, and this is, you just told me this right before we started, is that this movie is a Die Hard movie.
Yes, it is.
And then I started thinking about it, and son of a bitch, it's isolated. They're out of prison for more than an hour of the movie.
He goes to prison like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one guy against a team of bad guys because it's Dean Cain by himself. His friend would be the guard.
Yeah. And he gets injured.
And he does get injured.
He gets his ass kicked throughout the movie.
Shit.
This is a Die Hard movie. Is this the worst movie?
This is the worst Die Hard movie of all
This
time.
is a Die Hard movie, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's even worse than Die Hard 5.
Yeah. No, I'd rather watch Die Hard 5 10 times before I watch this again.
Because at least, like, somebody tried in
Yeah.
Die Hard 5. Somebody.
Well, and at least Bruce Willis was there doing things.
I don't know. That's just, Bruce Willis's presence is kind of a knock against Die Hard 5.
Serious. Although I feel that way about, what's his name playing the son?
Jai Courtney?
Jai Courtney. Yeah.
Jai Courtney is so good.
And here's the thing. He is the best part of Suicide Squad, but then he is awful in every other thing I've ever seen him.
Best part of Terminator Genesis.
Oh, yeah, he might be. But that's also because
Actually,
that's a
Arnold's
piece of
probably
shit.
the best part of Terminator Genesis.
Or Amelia Clarke.
No. She's
No.
terrible.
Arnold.
She's terrible. Amelia Clarke is, like, the worst actress that gets consistent, like, praise and nominations and whatnot.
Well, because she's good in Game of Thrones.
She's not.
Yes, she is.
Like, from day one, her and Jon Snow were, like, the worst actors. And now, because of the story, they're the two that are always on screen. And they haven't gotten better. And then you have people like Lena Headey, who's just, like, barely in every, like, she's got, like, 5 minutes per episode.
Because I hate seeing her.
Oh, she's so good.
She's so good, but I hate seeing her.
That's how good she is.
Because that's how good she is, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. I love seeing Amelia Clarke and Kit Harington.
There's just so many people that are, like, good actors on this show.
There's the Jon Snow storyline has gotten boring several times throughout the history of that show.
Oh, yeah.
There's been several times in the show that I'm like, get back to Tyrion or
Khaleesi. The worst part of those characters is they surround them by way more interesting characters.
Yeah.
Like Davos.
Yeah.
You know, Tyrion, Jorah Mormont.
Yeah.
You know, all the men.
God damn it, Jorah Mormont is so much fun to watch on that show.
He's so good.
I have a show on my Netflix
He makes me want to watch Resident Evil.
Is he in that?
He's the bad guy in Resident Evil.
The first one?
Yeah. I think he's
or
like
the fifth one.
He's like the overarching bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw the first one years ago. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember him being in it.
I believe Wesker is his name.
There is a show on Netflix, detective. I think it's called Taylor, and it's like a one-season detective show from the BBC. Mm-hmm. It's on my list just because the thumbnail for it is a picture of him, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I just like saved it, and I haven't gotten around to watching it.
No, that's fair. He's great.
Yeah, there's which Stellan Skarsgård also has that same honor because he had another British detective show. That just the thumbnail was him. What?
Stellan? The father?
Yeah. Where he played a schizophrenic guy who solved crimes.
I'm into it.
Yeah. I watched the first episode, I got bored, and I bailed.
Oh, damn. The Skarsgård clan, Stellan, Alexander, now Bill, and Peter Sarsgaard, are...
It's technically not related, but it sounds close enough.
Do you think overall there's more talent in the Skarsgårds than the Baldwins?
Yes.
Like in the Baldwins, all the talent is shoved into one of them.
One of them, yeah.
It's like an equal like spread.
It's just Alec. Alec's the only one.
Yeah.
Well, and Alec is a huge asshole too.
Yeah.
So.
The movie It. Did you see It?
I have it at home.
Yeah.
And every time I try to watch it, my wife shuts me down.
Yeah.
Because my daughter's home.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
show it to her. It's got kids in it.
So here's the thing: they watched the first 10 minutes of it, and Jen was like, "All right, shut this off."
Oh yeah.
And
when he's at the opening scene with him in the sewer, fucking horrifying.
I was like kind of skimming through it, and I got to that part, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And I stopped watching because I didn't realize it started because the first one You don't see the clown for at least half an hour.
Well, in the first one, they're adults for most of it, right?
No, they're kids in the first half, and then adults
and then
in
the
the
second half's the adults. Okay, that's what they did with this one, but they split it between 2 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First one was a mini-series. So it was like 3 hours.
Okay. So. I've been reading the book.
I have not read the book.
It's phenomenal.
I am terrible at reading books.
Yeah?
I used to be really, really good at it, and then...
I've slowed down as I've gotten
probably
older.
like 28, I almost stopped altogether. I used to love books, and I would read the fuck out of them, and I read tons of stuff. Especially when I got Kindle for the first time.
Yeah.
I was burning through shit. I read all the Hunger Games, I read all the Harry Potters, I read a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I know.
These are all children's books.
Those are all YA novels. I'm just noticing.
Hey,
it's like,
how was the Maze Runner, Ben? Did it end well?
I didn't read it. I don't know.
Okay, the final Maze Runner movie is coming out, and the tagline is, "Every maze has an end." I can't handle it. It's so good.
Here's the thing, though, that I'm intrigued now about watching those because, and I've seen the first 2 movies and I didn't recognize her, and then I went and saw the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
It's got Kaya Scodelario.
Kaya Scodelario, who is fucking great.
Did you ever see Skins?
No.
So Skins UK, not the US Skins, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Skins UK, the first 4 seasons are fucking great. And Kaya Scodelario's in all of them.
Yeah.
She's like in the first 2, so the Skins will have like different generations of kids basically that it's about.
Yeah.
It's about British teenagers that are all fucked up.
Yeah.
So in the first every 2 seasons is a different generation.
Okay.
So the first season, she's the main character's younger sister, and the main character is oh shit, I forget, is the kid from About a Boy.
Yeah. Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult, yeah. And then in seasons 3 and 4, she becomes like the main character. It's about her and her friends. But yeah, she's fucking phenomenal in it.
Yeah.
And that whole show's good.
So through Pirates, I just kept noticing you can't take your eyes off of her. She's a fucking movie star in that movie. In there next to Jeffrey Rush and Johnny Depp, and she's, and I don't know what it is. I'm not horribly attracted to her. I don't want to fuck her. I just want to watch her do things. Yeah, it sounds creepy as shit.
Weird,
right?
I just want
to brush her hair
and
feed her grapes.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna hurt her.
I'm gonna hurt him.
I'm gonna hurt her.
He's got heroin.
You got a girlfriend, you got a wife, somebody. I'm gonna find him.
Have you seen Boogie Nights?
I'm gonna hurt him.
Was he in Boogie Nights?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm just glad I wasn't just making assumptions. I was just like, yeah, Boogie Nights. That feels like a Philip Seymour Hoffman
he is one of the best villains ever in a Mission Impossible movie. Though.
Oh yeah.
That scene with where you're thinking like, oh wow, the good guys caught him, and he spins that shit right back, and you're like, oh fuck, you should kill him. You should just kill him now. Like anybody who ever says anything like that to you, like, hey, do you have a family? If you don't kill me right now, I'm going to find them and I'm going to hurt them. Not kill them, I'm going to hurt them. And you're like, I'd be like, oh, well, let's just kill you now. Fuck.
Yeah, let's get this over with. Let's do what Vendetta should have done and get this done quickly.
Vendetta should have been a 30-minute TV show. It still wouldn't have been good, but at least it would have, at least it wouldn't have had to create 5 different complicated plot lines that never made any sense and didn't pay off.
Vendetta should have been a file in a computer that said date last modified, and then it was untouched for a couple of years. You know, it's like 2012. That was the last time we touched it. Should we officially state that the Vendetta is a Die Hard movie?
Vendetta is a Die Hard movie.
No matter how much it pains you.
Oh god.
I know it pains me.
That's such a bummer. I honestly didn't even evaluate it because it was just like, God, this is just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Until you said it, and I was like, oh fuck, it is.
Until I ruined your day.
That just sucks. Reminds me of when someone ruined Indiana Jones by pointing out that he had nothing to do with the plot. And I was like, oh fuck.
An episode of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. So, yeah. At least Last Crusade they fixed that. So.
And Temple of Doom.
Yeah, but Temple of Doom sucks.
Fuck off. Temple of Doom. How dare you?
No, it goes Raiders, Crusade, Temple of Doom, way the fuck down here, the Crystal Skull.
Temple of Doom's awesome.
No.
He's got Short Round.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones.
Yeah. No.
Oh, he's so good.
And that blonde lady who's just terrible.
Oh, what? Oh, anything goes when they're in Club Obi-Wan.
Ah.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, everything about it.
It's all in
so
like
good.
it's like we're speaking Chinese, but anything goes. And it's like
Also
that song, by the way, sets up the whole movie. Like
anything
you
goes.
think you're watching Indiana Jones, but anything goes. And it's like yeah, but we're just gonna do whatever the fuck we want because fuck you, we got your money already. Yeah,
it's so good. The cart, the mine cart.
Oh my gosh,
so good. When he takes the hearts out, when they're eating the monkey brains, when Indiana Jones puts his hands on the statue's titties and moves it.
all awful.
When they're playing cards and he goes, "You cheat, Dr. Jones."
Jeez. Yeah.
When Kate Capshaw is screaming incessantly for the whole movie.
Wait, that was Steven Spielberg's wife?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You didn't know that?
I knew it was Kate Capshaw, but I didn't know that was Kate Capshaw.
Yeah.
She's terrible.
Yeah, that's the joke, is that she's only in the movie because Steven Spielberg was fucking her.
Ugh. That's so bad. That's, I knew she was terrible. I didn't know that was Steven Spielberg's wife, but yeah, that makes sense now. That's, so the guy who runs this TV station where I work at used to work in Hollywood, and when all these allegations came out, he said, "Oh yeah, I'm not surprised at all." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I know there's a lot of scummy guys in Hollywood." And he goes, "No, you don't understand. Every movie I've ever worked on, there was at least one girl that had to be put in the movie because the producer was trying to fuck her." Mm-hmm. And I was like, I mean, when you say every movie, like, you mean like most? And he goes, no. Every single movie, there would be a Tracy or there would be some young, beautiful girl who had no talent whatsoever, but we had to put in the movie in somewhere because the producer was going to fuck her. Mm-hmm. And it was like, good fucking gosh. That's, yeah. So, which makes me also realize this isn't over. Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm not just chiming in with Oprah. The allegations are going to keep coming. More people are going down. And it's, I mean, I think they just got to somebody, the guy who wrote Crash, who was all over the other guys who had allegations. And was like, these people are fucking monsters, Paul Haig. And he's like, Haggard, Paul Haggis? Haggis.
He co-wrote Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Okay. All sexual assault claims should be taken very seriously. However, Paul Haggis is a former Scientologist and an outspoken opponent of the Church of Scientology.
True.
So there's
always
always
a possibility that the church.
Yeah, there is that, because that is not something that's below the Church of Scientology, and it's the kind of shit they do.
Yeah.
They were already talking about them, like the Church of Scientology fucking with the LAPD with the Danny Masterson case.
Really? Mm-hmm. Fuck.
That being said, I hate Crash.
Yeah.
So much to the point that I wouldn't be surprised, just because you have to be a shitty person to make a movie that shitty. So
that movie is bizarre, and the idea that won Best Picture, and wasn't there something else that was like so much fucking
Departed?
Better?
The Departed came out that year.
Oh my god.
The fucking Departed.
Yeah, that should have won Best Picture.
God, Crash is bad. Can we do it? Never mind. Let's not do an episode about Crash. Because
didn't he write the thing that won Best Picture the following year? He wrote that too.
Was it Casino Royale? Because it should have been.
It was something else, but there was also, and the thing that he wrote the year after, I actually really liked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, you can't remember these.
Oh, $1 Million Baby.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He wrote that too.
Paul Haggis. The fact that he wrote Casino Royale makes everything else he's ever done so much worse. Because Casino Royale's so good.
Yeah. I feel it. I mean, then it makes the allegations. And this is the hard part, is that, like, so many people that, like... And it's, for me, it was Bill Cosby was the first one when he went down. Because Bill Cosby was I used to listen to him as I slept. We'll listen to him do routines and shit. Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah, no, it's like... And not that he was in the room.
You know who else listened to Bill Cosby while they slept?
All the rape victims.
A lot of women.
Yeah. So...
Nice.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite bits from those new Dave Chappelle stand-ups on Netflix. Have you watched them?
Yes.
I think it was the first one. He's talking about Bill Cosby. He's like, even after like 50 women came out, I was like, he probably only did 11 of those.
Serious. No. Okay. Did you see the second one?
Mm-hmm.
So the New Year's one, he came out with 2.
Yeah.
And there's one where he's sitting down and he tells a really long story from the book Pimp.
Yeah.
What the fuck did that mean?
Oh, that was great. That was cool. Somebody on
cool.
Reddit did like a
It
whole...
was super cool. I will agree.
Yeah.
But I immediately went online and was like, all right, what the fuck did that mean?
Yeah.
Like, somebody break down what all the... Because he doesn't even say, like, okay, so now after telling that story...
This is what I mean.
Go back through, and I was the hooker, and Comedy Central was the pimp.
Yeah.
Like, I needed, like, that. I needed a...
Yeah.
Like a legend. From a map.
No, yeah,
like,
that's fair.
All right, now tell me what all the pieces were, and don't tell me the story, just who all the pieces were, and I'll go put it together later. Mm-hmm. And he didn't even do that. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Were you the pimp? Were you the hooker? Were you the John? I don't understand.
Now, he was the bottom bitch.
He was the bottom bitch.
He was Comedy Central's bottom bitch, yeah. So is he... Do you think he's going to go away again?
I think so. For a little bit. I think he's going to not do specials.
Oh, okay.
He's not going to do TV. I think he's going to keep doing stand-up, just doing stand-up the way he likes to do stand-up.
So, I mean, yeah, before this, he had like maybe 2 DVD specials?
Yep.
For over his whole career.
Killing Me Softly and For What It's Worth.
Yeah. And then he put out 4 in the course of...
In 6 months.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair...
Good for him.
I think he's one of the... And he said it in one of those things. He's so fucking good at this.
Dude, that was such a good bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
and so my wife didn't laugh at that. And he's like, when he does the kicked her right in the pussy, and then he tells the story and gets to kick her right in the pussy. I thought that was fucking amazing.
It's like, I told you I was going to say you didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
That was amazing, yeah.
Because I love that story, because I also remember the commercials for Stovetop Stuffing and how they made it sound like it was the best fucking thing in the world. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's get some of that Stovetop Stuffing. So, anyway.
That's good shit.
Dave Chappelle's good shit.
Vendetta is not
good shit. Is there anything... so just as people are listening to this, is there anything else that... is there stuff that you would recommend from last year that you thought was really, really fucking good?
Just anything?
What?
Anything?
Anything.
On Christmas Day, Lil Wayne dropped a mixtape.
Okay.
Dedication 6. It fucking so good. Like, Lil Wayne dropped off hard recently in the last, 5 or so years. Holy shit, this is good.
Cool.
Top shit. That's what I recommend.
Okay.
Lil Wayne, Dedication 6. Also, the movie It.
Okay.
When we finish...
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, when we finish here today, I'm going to Best Buy to pick up a copy. That's the only thing I have on my plate today. Nice. Buy It.
So, yeah, I was trying to think of, my top 5 movies, and I made a couple lists lately. In terms of the best movie of last year, Logan and Get Out are kind of at the top of my list. Just because I'm thinking of everything that I enjoyed last year. And there was a bunch of things that I really liked. I liked all the Marvel movies from this year. Obviously, there was one that you didn't care for. But no,
fuck Thor! No, I'm just kidding. Thor was great.
Thor was great. I really liked Spider-Man.
Did you see Lady Bird?
I did not. I haven't seen Lady Bird.
Not a Marvel movie.
Not a Marvel movie.
Lady Bird, fucking phenomenal.
Okay.
I went and saw it with my sister.
I have it.
I laughed. I cried. It was beautiful.
I just saw Molly's Game.
Ooh, how was that?
Fucking amazing.
Was it good?
Yeah.
I was a little worried. I was like, Aaron Sorkin's not a director, but okay.
It's cool. He is now.
Nice. I'm excited. That was good.
I mean, he directs like he writes. So it's
very frantic.
Very frantic, and which buddy of mine had a problem with the pacing, and I was like, no, you just didn't. If you don't like the way Aaron Sorkin writes,
too fast or too slow?
It's too fast. He thought.
Oh, perfect. I'd rather have a movie that's much too fast than like Vendetta.
Well, and the reason that he does it is because he, like Aaron Sorkin does, if he's telling one story, he's telling 5 stories.
Yeah.
And those other little stories all complement the one story. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of time jumping in and out of, because it's her telling her story to the lawyer.
To Idris
Elba. So there's parts of it that are the present day where it's her and the lawyer. Mm-hmm. And then she's telling stories from the past, which is her running all the games. And then she's also telling this very long story of her childhood. And there's a scene... did you know Kevin Costner was in the movie?
No.
He's fucking amazing.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in. I don't have any problems with Kevin Costner.
I don't have any problems with Kevin Costner.
I don't have any necessarily I love Kevin Costner. But I don't have any
You
problems
obviously haven't seen Dances with Wolves then. So, because holy shit.
I haven't.
Holy fuck. If you have a minute. If you have, you have to have 3 hours.
I was going to say.
It's a long movie.
I borrowed a Blu-ray of Lawrence of Arabia from our mutual friend Jake.
Yeah.
It's just like this big 5-hour block staring at me in the soul, and
it's so long and it's so hard to.
I need to get through it.
I've seen it once or twice. It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
That and El Cid are the other two. The other one that it just takes forever to get through. And which, to be fair, I watched them when I was a kid, and as a kid, I probably wasn't into a lot of them. But yeah, it's mostly about the visuals.
Yeah.
So, which if you saw Mad Max, Fury Road, you've already seen a lot of those visuals. So it's about the desert and it's about seeing those great big shots of the desert and all that shit. So,
and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes. So.
Lawrence of Arabia. That's the name I haven't heard.
Most people call me Larry. So, anyway, all right. Well, thanks so much for everybody for listening to this episode. If you have questions or concerns with the show, you can email us. It's diehardonablank@gmail.com. Please, if you could, support us if you like the show. 2 things that we'd like you to do. If you could go on iTunes and give us a 5-star review. Anybody who gives us a 5-star review, I will thank you on air on the next show.
I'll do hand stuff.
And Noah will do hand stuff. And hey, if you want to, actually, I'll do this. If you leave your number, I'll give you a call. I'll thank you personally.
I will not.
Yeah, no, it won't.
Wait, you want them to leave their number in the review?
Yeah, leave your number in the review. I'll give you a call.
Don't okay, wait 1 second.
Don't do that.
Don't leave your number in a public review on the internet.
Tell you what, leave a review, send us an email. I'll give you a call and thank you for that. Just send us an email. I'll give you a call and thank you for sending us an email. But yeah, and if you want to, you can help us out. There are no ads on this show. And you're like, well, why would you have ads? Only 10 people listen to you. And that's true. But also, we don't have ads because we prefer to let you guys just support us directly instead of having to listen to bullshit.
Well, and also, that's 10 people that could be enjoying Sherry's Berries. Now, Sherry's Berries...
Yeah, so if you do want to support the show, you can. It's we're on Patreon. If you give us $1, we let you join a Facebook group where it's the 2 of us and also the host of Dackless Daily, Dackless Weekly, Velma Allen. And she is a lovely trans woman who does a daily diary about her life. So you can listen to that show too. That's also here on the Geek Wars Podcast Network.
Occasionally, she'll have some special guests.
Guests
may or may not live down the hall from her.
There you go. That was Noah, by the way, in case anybody. Yeah.
Oh,
Noah's on her show.
What would you find us under in Patreon?
Under Patreon, you can find us under the Geek Wars Podcast. So go look at Geek Wars, same way you found this podcast, hopefully. Geek Wars Podcast, and then you can do that. If you give $5, this is the cool one. If you give $5, you get access to all the other stuff and a weekly fan cast that we do. You get to be the only ones who can listen to it, and it's about a 30-minute podcast we do every week where Noah, myself, and Trevor, or excuse me, not Trevor, Velma. She just changed it. It's going to take me a minute to figure that out. I've been calling her Trevor for like 8 years. The 2 of us and Velma will actually fan cast a specific character in pop culture. This week, the character we're about to fan cast is Spider-Woman. So if you get on the $5 train now, you can listen to that one. Also, all the other ones that are out there and they're all kind of fun. And honestly, we end up talking about cool shit on those. Like for instance, when Velma decided to officially change her pronoun to female, that was on the fan cast. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I have so much more fun doing fan casts.
Sometimes, yeah.
Ben looked so hurt by that.
Sometimes I do too.
Fan casts are fun.
They're shorter. It's easier to do. We don't have to watch a movie. It's 5 minutes on the internet instead of an hour and a half staring at Dean fucking Cain. So hopefully we'll be done with these WWE movies shortly. We might just jump to the end and do Marine 5 and just call it a day.
Marine 5 Battlegrounds?
Yes. We'll do Marine
Starring
5.
Mike the Miz Mazinski.
Mizanin.
I know what I said.
Yeah. And then that's another thing. If in terms of where we're going to go after this, I think you had an idea that we were going to look at. But if you, the listeners, have an idea of where we should go look next for Die Hard movies, let us know. You could send us to go look at a specific actor, a specific genre, a specific company that makes movies, a specific type of movie. Like if you liked listening to Prison Movie Vendetta and you just want us to go watch a whole bunch of prison movies, God, please don't do that. But if you do want us to do that, we will. We are your little puppet bitches.
It is kind of ironic that throughout the whole hour and a half of Vendetta, the only true prisoner was me.
They actually, on the prison walls, I noticed this, they had the words, "Fear is a prison." And I was like, why would you put that in a prison where you're in the actual prison? like a bunch of prisoners are going to look at that in prison and go, that's true.
Fear is kind of a prison.
When you think about it metaphorically, like, I'm actually in a real prison, but fear is a metaphor. I see where they went there.
Yeah, fear definitely is a prison. And then he, turns around and gets frisked before going back inside.
Serious. Fear is a prison. Do you need to check my butthole for drugs? It's like, God.
So I'll have you know they've all absorbed by now.
Jeez. Anyway, give us an email, give us a review, and I'll give you a phone call. So, or I won't if you don't want to talk to me. That's totally fine too. But yeah. Anyway, thanks so much. Good night, motherfuckers.
Okay.